The clock is put together, it works, it's whisper quiet, and I'm going to put the plate with the Jefferson Golden Hour electric clock, and we have Bellwood, Illinois, made by Jefferson Electric Company. I've got 60 cycles only, 2.5 watts. So the clock is fixed, and now I'm going to set the time. Now this is the original very thin cord. I will replace it with a golden lamp cord. They make some really nice ones in a gold color just to match the rest of it. And it's 3 o'clock, so I'm going to set the time. This handle is being forced. Okay, let's just go. All right, so we have, yeah, that's about exactly 3 o'clock. Okay, and this guy gets flipped, oh, the other way. It's flipped to 3 o'clock. Here you go, and the gravity will set it nicely. The way they were built is just amazing, and they make people happy. And they're pretty expensive on eBay. Working clocks, they go $150 and up. Broken, $50, $60 and up. And I paid for this one $2 in a thrift store. And I was very happy to fix it. Now we see how the minute hand has moved a little bit from 12. So the clock is working fine. It's whisper quiet. There's nothing, there's not a noise, there's nothing from the bass coming from the motor. So this will work decades. So the clock has been running for a few hours, and you can see that the time is perfectly matching. It's just a little bit warm, but maybe a couple of degrees higher temperature than the outside, than the air temperature, which is normal because the little motor of 3 watts is heating it up a little bit, just a little bit. But as whisper quiet, works perfectly well. I cleaned up the clock, and you can tell that this is now beautiful, shiny. I removed all the finger marks from the glass. Now a couple of tips. The chemicals I used were glass cleaner. This one by Sprayway, it's very cheap. Couple of dollars for the large container, and this is ammonia free, so this will not continue to corrode. It's American made, really good stuff, and this did a good job. Now when you use it, just be careful not to spray on the glass, but rather spray on your wiping cloth or paper towel, and then wash it, because you don't want any of it to get inside in that gear, the large gear, because that could take a long time to dry out and could cause some corrosion. Next good stuff to use was a 91% alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and this stuff may be very hard to buy now in the pandemic, but if you have some old one, this is really good. And also I used the disinfecting wipes from Home Depot, and any kind of disinfecting wipes. And the good thing about them is that the material is very soft. It's non-abrasive, so they will not scratch up the surfaces. So I used alcohol first, okay? Don't be too aggressive with the cleaning, because you don't want to leave any scratch marks. You want to remove the dirt and old grease, kitchen grease, or anything like it, but you don't want to be too aggressive. Then the second, I took a wipe and soaked it also with the alcohol, because that's one of the ingredients, and cleaned it up generally. And then I used the glass cleaner, sprayed it on a paper towel, and cleaned it up. You can, as you know, you can remove the hour handle very easily. It swings. The minute handle, if you want to clean underneath, you have to push gently out of the way, and then you can clean up any dust or fingerprints of the dust. You go very gently with the edges of the glass. You don't want any of the chemicals to get into it. But this is the final result. It looks beautiful. And if you have any better suggestions for cleaning, just put them in the comments. So these are the finishing touches. I'm wearing gloves at this moment, so I don't have to worry about leaving any new fingerprints on the cleaned up clock, polished, cleaned. And I'm going to replace the old cord, thin cord, which plug had been broken, and I had to replace it with something temporarily. And I have this lamp cord, which I think nicely matches the golden finish of the clock. Now I'm going to begin with putting felt pads on the base, which will prevent the base from scratching. So at this moment it's a collector's item, so you want to make it as nice as possible. You can use the tip of the screwdriver or knife, and it will allow you to position it perfectly in place, and so now it will be prevented from scratch. Now with the cord, all you do is this, squeeze that part that's movable, you can see, and push the cord upwards. So I have, then after you squeeze gently that part, it will come out, and it's very easy. And I'm assuming that this is an American brand. And this we are going to remove and place new cord inside. Now the cord had been replaced, and what I'm going to do is use this original retention ring and position it in the proper way, which will be about just about here. And then the top part needs to be squeezed into the cord, so it forms a little elbow, and this will prevent the cord from moving. So this is the end result, and as you see, it fits very snugly. I think this is fitting very nicely. This clock, it will stay, but if you decide that you want to be more original, quote unquote, then I think thrift stores are a very good source of old kind of cords, and some of them are in great shape. So if you want to be more original, you want to go for the thin kind of look and the retro plug, then you may look at the thrift store, and for a couple of bucks you may have a lamp or some other appliance with the old type of cord. However, I myself think that this is good. It will stay golden. It's very safe. It's a new, relatively new cord, and it's got the two-prong plug, so it's perfect, matching everything in my opinion. In the bottom of the clock we have a couple of inscriptions handwritten with numbers and a letter on both sides, but we also have rubber stamped 7/23/69, which I would assume is the date of manufacture, and this is the clock from that period, so this would probably correspond with the day when it was made, July 23, 1969. So this is it, that's the finishing touches, and I'm going to put the plate back in the bag, and the clock will be up and running.